I don't know how to start this. So I wanted to read a small text and comment. You see, metaphysics is not a creationist philosophy. It's not a dualistic philosophy and it's not a moralistic philosophy. Metaphysics is logic, reason, and fact, you see. And it tries to distant itself from the emotions. Emotions is what makes everybody confused. You know, a lot of people are emotional and, by definition, irrational. Emotions are subjective, you see. And if everybody's emotions are heard, then it's like arguing, my father is better than yours, you know. It's like arguing that because it's subjective, you know. So, so I'm going to read and comment. In Sakta cults, there survives an ontology antedating patriarchal modes of thought, and the relation of the conjoined principles is reversed in gender. Here, Siva is inert, effecting nothing by himself, represents the Godhead, while Sakti, the mother of all things, is the active power, engendering, preserving, and resolving. Lila is not his, but hers. Lila, this act of generating, you know, this act of providing and preserving, is a female deity, right? Nothing wrong with it. I mean, a lot of people go, you know, oh, I prefer a male creation deity, a female, an androgynous. I mean, for instance, the original temple of the Jays was a female deity of creativity called Shahina, Shagina. I don't know. When I was thinking about this, the name of that song, that pop singer Rihanna, came to my mind. It's almost like this Rihanna pop singer is channeling a female deity. I don't know. There's something about it. So let us continue. In mysticism, quote unquote, okay, the word mysticism is between quotes because it was a pejorative term invented by the Abrahamics, the same way as, pagan or occult or whatever. They come up with these terms. It's a pejorative term. You see, um, all early Christians, way back when, they were all reading the Enneads of Plotinus. Okay, all of them. They were reading the text, the Greek texts, and the Greek philosophers. So the Abrahamics called them mystics. It's a pejorative term. So in mysticism, there is an emotional realization of all or any of these points of view. It's an emotional encapsulation of these points of view. But in metaphysics, we are trying to stay away from emotions, you know, and stay logical and rational. But the emotional side always wins in some people, in some cases. Yeah. So they end up worshiping only one aspect of the Trinity. Instead of seeing the whole forest, they are only worshiping one tree, you know. Sometimes it's a girl, sometimes it's a boy, sometimes it's androgynous, but it always ends up in a massacre because that's what religion does. It divides and causes chaos. So, anyway, in reality, for instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is written, the path man take from every side is mine. In reality, if you take the left, the right, the center, the up, the down, all paths lead to Rome. The path men take from every side is mine. All roads lead to Rome, the analogy, meaning even a peasant walking barefoot can go to Rome. If it has will, if he has faith, he can go there. Anyone can. Yeah, it's not just the guys on horse or on a wagon or on a vehicle or whatever that go there. No, even because the road is there and you just take it. So it's only people who get, locked in the details. It's a female deity. It's a Mayan deity. The ones who get locked in it, the rigid mind. It is this rigid mind that creates, we call them fundamentalists. Okay. Meister Eckhart said, in whatever way you find God best and are most aware of Him, that way pursue. Okay? You can find your way through paganism, you can find a way through any sort of religion. You can find your way. Philosophy, ontology, religion, metaphysics, anything, if you follow the path. But again, if there's demons on that path, do not listen to them. Right? Do not get fooled by the appearances. Yeah? Go and analyze the cause. Yeah? The cause of things. It should be observed further that while we speak in theology of the first, the second, and the third persons, the persons being connected by opposite relation, the numerical ordering of these persons is purely conventional, not chronological or a real order of coming into being, for these three persons are connascent. The Trinity is an arrangement, not a process. For example, the Son creates the Father as much as the Father the Son. For there can be no paternity without affiliation, and vice versa. And that is what is meant by, quote, opposite relation. Similarly, there cannot be a person without a nature, and vice versa. That is why in metaphysics, this mythology, we meet with inversions. As for example, here in the Riga Veda, Daksa, which is a personal name for the progenitor, is born of Aditi as her son, and she also is born out of him as his daughter, where Viraj is born of Purusa and vice versa. Metaphysics are consistent but not systematic. The systematic system is found only in the religious extensions, where a given ordering of the persons becomes a dogma, and it is precisely by such matters of faith, quote unquote, and not by a difference of metaphysical basis, that one religion can be distinguished from another. That is truly a distinction without difference. Yeah. Anyway, about religion. Religion is highly, emotional. And religion kind of wants to control people's lives. Oh, I had something written here about religion. I can't find it. Anyway, religion can be helpful, but it's a different path to attain the same, destination. But you have to be careful of the roadblocks. There's going to be lots of roadblocks. For instance, the rigidness of, this numerical ordering. It has to be father, mother, and son. It has to be ordered, rigidly. No. That's not how things are. It has to be a sequence. You know why they are obsessed in a rigid numerical sequence of things. Are they obsessed with numbers? Because they are obsessed in predicting your future. They want to predict so they can control. You know, that's a demon. It's a demon. Mathematicians, for instance, nowadays, they say they are scientists, but they are not scientists. Mathematician is just masturbation with numbers. It does not represent reality. It imitates reality. It's not reality. You can go about with endless calculations about incredible things, but doesn't mean it's reality. They might be describing a unicorn, jumping from Mars to Venus, and he's going to do this angle and then the weight and mass and calculations and blah 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 blah. But that doesn't mean that unicorns exist. You know, people get lost, endless calculations, and end up far far away from reality. That's what mathematicians are. They call themselves scientists. They're not scientists at all. So I think I'm going to shut up. Have a nice day.